mechanics, the ones that would just plug, a machine in your cars, and the machine will just tell
Detect.
you, check, detect the brake fluid, check, gearbox oil, check this and this. We will just carry our car to Isa in Kubo or Apo Mechanic and just say, Isa, the thing they do, I bet check
Isa
out.
self go do one. They help you find waiting they happen.
Imagine doing that with an electric vehicle.
Oh, at this point, I think when it comes to electric vehicles and all that, Nigeria is still very, very in its early it's not even early stages. We're still babies. We're still fetuses. Is it fetuses? We're still a fetus, rather, in this particular business. So until we develop into a certain level where we are a lot stronger, we can say that, okay, we understand the market to a certain extent. Having an electric vehicle is a good idea, but well,
and the problem is, even having charging port, when we get to that point where we will definitely have electric vehicles functioning in the country at full capacity, another problem you have to deal with is the problem of vandalism. Even if you have this charging outlets stationed across different states or different points where you can charge, you won't be afraid that when you plant it, street lights in the FCT, those boys have vandalized it. Imagine something worth that amount, and you know that this charging point won't be cheap.
Simeon, I just wanted to come in real quick there. We have filling stations. It's the same way we don't go vandalizing filling stations. It's the same way that we would have to adopt that habit of taking care of something like that. We don't go vandalizing filling stations because you need it. So when we have more of that, when that now becomes a culture, more charging stations, then we can now talk about, okay, we're doing better at protecting and preserving things like that. But we're still in the energy sector, and we're talking about the NNPCL right now delaying fuel supply. Marketers are kicking as NNPCL delays fuel supply. Oil marketers under the aegis of IPMAN, that's the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, have berated the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited for alleged delay in the supply of petroleum products. As a result, the marketers said they have been forced to boycott the NNPCL to source fuel from private depots at a higher cost. In an exclusive interview with newsmen, the National Vice President of IPMAN, Fashola, asked the government to review the current distribution pattern with a view to giving priority to IPMAN members. According to him, independent marketers own 80% of the filling stations in Nigeria and as such deserve the lion's share in fuel allocation. Fashola said, more so, we buy products from the NNPCL cash and carry, and we don't enjoy any credit facility with the NNPCL. There are times we pay for products and you don't get the products for 2 or 3 months. You have your money in the coffers of the NNPCL, which means they are trading with our monies. If I'm not exaggerating, we should be talking of over 300 billion naira. When you consider the number of marketers all over Nigeria, our money is always trapped there while we keep struggling to get fuel.
I think something ought to be done about NNPCL, distributing fuel to some marketers, because most people, when they get fuel from the NNPC Limited, they get it at a minimal cost as compared to getting it from independent importers who will definitely factor so many things in selling their fuel. So it is necessary that NNPC gets their stock and start distributing the fuel. So the brunt is not being borne by Nigerians here, because if you buy fuel at a ridiculous amount as an independent marketer, you'll be forced to actually add a little so you can get your profits at the end of the day. So it is necessary NNPC start distributing fuel again. And still talking about the NNPC right now, some groups and bodies are now calling on the NNPC Limited to actually declare their own share in the Dangote refinery. And according to the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, which is a global transparency body, Jolstar yesterday, they actually told the NNPC Limited to provide further details on its 20% equity in the Dangote petroleum refinery. It also gave the charge during a visit to the EITI delegation to Nigeria, stressing that NNPC Limited had yet to clarify its equity interest in the $20 billion refinery. And looking at this, it is necessary that NNPC Limited come out to actually state, their 20% equity in the Dangote refinery. What does this imply for them? Because remember, when we talked about Dangote refinery earlier, I told you that the Nigerian government through the NNPC Limited has its own, share in the refinery. And that's why a lot of people, even government, was doing all they can. And I remember the CBN actually giving Dangote, some time ago, enough foreign exchange to actually import some of the equipment they needed for that particular refinery. Of course, you know that when a government is involved in fast tracking the process of starting things working, they have an interest in it. And that was why I was telling people that the NNPC Limited has a share in Dangote refinery when it started working. And amazingly, it has started working. I think it started working last week, where we that they are now producing diesel and aviation fuel, pending when they begin the refining of crude to produce PMS, to call fuel here in the country.
All right. Check the headline here. We're moving on to the market. Naira rebounds at official market. Naira rebounds at official market. After several days of volatility, the Naira rebounded at the official I&E window on Tuesday, closing at 878.61 Naira to a dollar against the 925 Naira to a dollar it closed on Monday. The latest indicates a major improvement in the value of the local currency, which had earlier closed at 1,000 Naira to a dollar at the official window over a week ago. Now, the local currency has been facing pressure in recent days amidst lingering foreign exchange shortages. Some analysts and stakeholders have, however, linked the latest pressure on the local currency to the alleged hoarding of the greenback by some bank customers. At the parallel market on Tuesday, the local closed flat at 1,365 Naira to a dollar, almost the same level it closed on Monday. The development represents a slight halt in the steady fall of the local currency at the black market. It had recently slid from 1,200 Naira to a dollar to over 1,300 Naira to a dollar about a week ago. Now, a BDC operator in Zone 4 said the dollar still sold at 1,350 Naira in the capital city. He said dollar is now 1,350 Naira. That's the highest I can buy it, and I can't go beyond that amount. I sell between 1,360 to 1,365. Well, we're seeing the shortfall of the Naira at this point in time, but it has stabilized as opposed to 1,000 Naira to a dollar that it closed at an official I&E window that it closed at on Monday. We're seeing it at 878 Naira, but still, there's still this problem of unification of the foreign exchange value, right? You have the I&E window, you have the forex market. So that's the black market. Rather, you have two different markets as opposed to having one unified what's it called, one unified
rate,
exchange rate, pardon me, that's the word I was looking for. One unified exchange rate. Was still having two different, because in the I&E window, if you go to the banks, if you go to the CBN's official rate, you see a different thing. When you go to the black market, you see something else that's entirely
of course that is why it is called the black market. No matter how they get to unify the Naira and the dollar, once it gets to the market, you will never see it at the same rate, no matter the level of unification the federal government wants to do. So that is why you see that particular figure. And still talking about the Naira and its recent fall, thank God, as at the close of the I&E window yesterday, we saw it rebounding to about 878 Naira. As at the close of I&E window on Monday, it was about 925 Naira, 34 kobo to a dollar. Despite the constant fall in Naira, we see it